Silksong has sparked the usual cycle of debate on the game's difficulty, with some people complaining about the game's difficulty, then other people saying skill issue, and then the back and forth leads to debate about difficulty in games. It's nothing new and has been happening so many times for a long time. What makes this case a bit more different is that even the Hollow Knight veterans complain about its difficulty. Siksong is a marginally different game from its predecessor, that the muscle memory gained from the first game won't help much in Silksong. I mean, the moment I got my first double damage in the game, I knew its difficulty would be absolutely nasty. So yes, I agree, Silksong is way harder than Hollow Knight. I do not need to analyze it for everyone who played the game to know. But is it unfair? Better question, is it too hard? In my personal experience, for the most part, I was fine with it. The double damage was surprising, yeah, but once I got used to it, it was not that bad. Bosses are kind of easy to learn, despite being very challenging. But I could only name one boss that I found was 100% unfair. The tool system meta, I had more options to add to my arsenal, and the crest system that I disliked at first because I didn't like the idea of limiting my tools, unlike the charm system in Hollow Knight, proved to be a really interesting way to craft my playstyle. So I would not say that high difficulty held back my experience. With that said, I can also say that Silksong has bullshit. In fact, I have encountered so many moments where Silksong has genuinely pissed me off and not in the is by design manner. The diagonal pogo, for example, is bullshit. I am sorry. It's not that it is absolutely useless. I have seen some great players using the pogo and it is kind of useful during combat, but for platforming it's terrible. I couldn't get used to it during platforming. Most especially coming from the downward pogo in Hollow Knight that is simpler and more controllable. Savage Beast Fly is a dogshit boss, I'm sorry. It is pure RNG. The boss is a big damage boss that isn't that bad if you fight it one-on-one, but when it spawns in its minions, it is the worst boss I have ever fought, and the worst part is the run back. Yes, the run backs are bad in this game to the point that they can be the worst part of a boss fight. Examples being Lost Judge and Sister Splinter. And the gauntlets, oh my god, they are very tedious and not fun. I have a big list of things the game does that pissed me off. The shout system, the flying enemies, I haven't gotten started on the fetch quest. So many times I took breaks because this game was constantly testing my patience. Silksong has so much bullshit. Yes, yet after beating Act 3, I felt fulfilled. I was happy, not out of relief, actually partially out of relief, but mostly out of fulfillment. I still found enjoyment in the game despite the bullshit, and I still found the difficulty kind of enjoyable. If I want to go philosophical for a minute, the entire difficulty, bullshit and all, adds to the game's Ludo narrative experience. I look back at game theory's analysis of the game and the details he observed from the game, how its difficulty portrays Silksong's world as a hostile and a manipulative world, how it is a critique on religion-based rule, the parallel storytelling that it and Hollow Knight share, every frustration, friction, struggle, death, failed platforming, and yes, bullshit, all adds to the Ludo narrative experience of the game. Maybe its unfair elements to reinforce the fact that the world is unfair. Silksong has bullshit, some of them absolutely inexcusable, but the difficulty is a big part that sold the game's experience to me, but it's just one part. I feel that people overestimate the value of a game's difficulty and don't understand its nuanced role in game design, which is why its discussion can get so heated. And if you find the optional boss too difficult and or unfun, leave them. Don't engage with them. If you feel the game's difficulty is too much for you, drop the game and don't let any Silksong elitist dictate your preferences. I say this respectfully because honestly, gamer pride is putting a lot of people in situations that they could have easily avoided. How many times have you encountered an optional boss, got your ass molly whopped by it, and then complained that the boss is unfair while forgetting the fact that it is an optional boss? Like, one of the things that makes fighting Savage Beast Fly a bitter taste in my mouth is in fact that one, is optional, and two, the reward for fighting that thing is a crest that I do not use because it doesn't even fit my playstyle. Maybe Silksong is unfair in some ways, but I can find ways to make it easier for myself. I enjoyed Hollow Knight because of its exploration, environmental storytelling, world building, lore, gameplay, and the overall experience of the game. The difficulty was never a selling point for me. Not that I minded it at all, but He isn't at the forefront of my love of the games. Although the bragging right was a nice bonus, I can't lie. Sometimes I wonder that if the difficulty is reduced or increased in any way, how does the overall experience be affected? The answer is debatable and not the point of this video. But to me, Siksong delivered in those aspects I mentioned amazingly, and I cannot be more satisfied. But I know some people do not play for the difficulty, and Siksong's increased difficulty will leave a bad taste in their mouths. So the debate will never end. People's preferences and tolerances are different, and the cycle of debates over difficulty will continue. But in my opinion, I would rather play a game for its meaningful experience than play a game for its difficulty. And Silksong satisfied me in that aspect, and that is enough for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.